my channel. I'm Alexa. Today we're making a triple layer macaroon cake. I've measured out all my ingredients and I recommend that you do so too. You can find the full list of ingredients and measurements in the link in the description. Remember to watch the video first so you can be prepared.
To start, I'm going to make my ganache. This is because it needs to chill for 3 hours before I use it, so this will give it a head start while I make my macaroon. To make my ganache, I'm going to start by putting my heavy cream into my saucepan on high heat. I will let this cook until it starts to boil. As you can see, it has started to boil, so I'm going to take it off of my burner. After I take it off the burner, I'm going to add my chocolate to my heavy cream. I just do a quick stir to make sure the chocolate is all covered with the cream. I'm going to let this sit now for 5 minutes. Now that it has sat for 5 minutes, I'm going to whisk it to combine my ingredients. You can stop whisking when there are no more clumps of chocolate and all of it has dissolved into the heavy cream. If you find that all the chocolate has not dissolved but the mixture has cooled, you can put it into the microwave for a few seconds to warm it up enough for the rest to melt. My ganache is done, so now I'm going to separate a cup of my ganache. This cup will be left on my counter at room temperature to set, while the rest of my ganache will be put in a bowl and will go in my fridge for 3 hours. The ganache that goes into the fridge will be spread onto my layers of macaroon, while the ganache I leave at room temperature will be poured onto the top and sides of my cake. Next, I'm going to get started on my macaroon. To start, I'm going to combine my sugar with my eggs. I'm combining them in a bowl of my stand mixer because I will need to mix these ingredients on my stand mixer later on. If you don't have a stand mixer, then you should use the bowl that works best for your hand mixer. I'm going to whisk these ingredients to combine them. Next, I'm going to put another saucepan with an inch of water in it onto the stove and heat it over high heat until it starts to simmer. Then, I'm going to take the bowl of my stand mixer and put it on top of the saucepan. I'm going to whisk this until the egg becomes warm to the touch. It's important not to stop whisking the ingredients, otherwise your eggs might cook and become scrambled. If that happens, then we would need to restart. To see if my egg is warm, I'm going to touch it with my finger. You can do this as many times as necessary to see if it's warm. I'd recommend starting to test it after 3 minutes have passed. After my egg is warmed, I'm going to immediately start mixing my egg using the whisk attachment of my stand mixer. I'm going to mix this for 5 minutes. By then, it will have approximately tripled in size. As you can see, it also has become much lighter in color. Now that my egg mixture is done, I'm going to fold in my coconut. Folding ingredients means that you carefully mix them using a rubber spatula to bring the ingredients from the bottom of your bowl and putting them on top of the ingredients you're trying to fold in. This is to make sure the eggs don't deflate after we whip them. I'm going to do this until my coconut is fully mixed into my ingredients. Next, I'm going to spread my macaroon onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. I used large binder clips to hold my parchment paper in place. Don't forget to remove them before baking. I'm using an angled offset cake spatula to spread it. Make sure it completely covers the baking sheet. Next, I'm going to put my macaroon into the oven. It's preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. After 10 to 15 minutes, I rotated my pan. This will help it bake more evenly. The macaroon will take 20 to 25 minutes to bake. I'd recommend setting a timer for 15 minutes and then set another timer for a few minutes after if it isn't done yet. When it's done, it should be golden brown. I waited overnight to assemble my cake, but you can wait 3 hours for the ganache to cool if you'd prefer. First, I'm going to flip my macaroon onto a cutting board. To start, I'm going to use a serrated knife to cut the edges off of the macaroon. As you can see, some of it is crumbling, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Next, I'm going to split the macaroon into 3 parts. This will make the cake. I used a ruler to make sure all the layers are the same size. This will make sure it will be able to evenly stack. Next, I'm going to spread the cooled ganache onto the bottom 2 layers of my macaroon. I'm using a cake spatula to spread it. After I do that, I'm going to pour my room temperature ganache onto the top of my stacked macaroon cake. Spread the ganache that drips over the side of the cake onto the side so it will be completely covered in chocolate. And our triple layer macaroon cake is done and looking delicious. Please let me know what you thought of the video in the comments and how the recipe went for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can see when new videos are added. Thank you and enjoy!